Hey everyone, welcome back to the Ryan Harper Show. This is episode number 6. We're going to hop right into it. We have tons of news stories to go over today. Talking about Kamala, talking about Donald Trump, talking about Joe Biden, FBI director. Oh my goodness, so much stuff. Joe Biden had his first press conference today since dropping out of the race. His first time we've seen him actually hop on camera and speak to the public. This is crazy. Let's hop into it. So the first story is coming from Michael Dershowitz. What he said was, the Democratic Party always claims to be on a mission to save our democracy, but their actions sing a different tune. A totally different tune. Which is true, by the way. And that's coming from, once again, Michael Dershowitz. That's an opinion coming from him. This was reported by Newsmax. It says, Party of Democracy ignores voters. Democratic rule. So they ignore the voters, and they ignore the democratic rule when they claim to be the Party of Democracy. Is that true? That is kind of true, by the way. The Democratic Party does do that. They do say that they want to save democracy and that they want to uphold it, but they never do. Because they're constantly out there censoring the free speech of Americans. They're cooperating with social media companies to take down posts that they don't like, that doesn't fit into their agenda. That's not democracy whatsoever. And also, they appointed themselves. Kamala appointed herself. The people did not vote. The people don't want Kamala, but she appointed herself. The people should be the one to choose their candidate, as well as the president. Okay, the government has no bounds, they have no right to appoint themselves like this. Even if it is legal to do, they shouldn't do it, because it's not democracy, especially if you're the party claiming that you want to uphold democracy. You need to let the people vote and decide themselves. We need to have a race, we need to have people come in, have discussions, debate, but none of that is happening because Kamala Harris has appointed herself as the leader, as the nominee. And that's just my opinion, man. And look, the Democrats aren't the only one to do this. The Republican Party also does this. They also claim to be saving democracy or saving, the government standards or whatever. But even they don't do it. Even they, every single day, there's many ways that they do it where they destroy democracy. Both parties do it. This is why you need to vote independent. And let's go with RFK Jr. He's the only one who can save our democracy. And he's not just going to say it. He's actually going to do it. Okay, he's not going to sit there and tell you that he's going to save democracy all day. Meanwhile, go behind your back and ban free speech, make sure that the people can't vote, and do all these scummy tactics. He's not going to do that. He's going to actually save our democracy and uphold it, because he wants to uphold the Constitution. That's who we should vote for, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Think about it. Look him up. Do your research. And if I'm wrong, you can come back and tell me. Here's the next post we have. It's coming from Fox News, and this is coming from Jack Osborne. Okay, so Jack Osborne, he's the rocker's famous son, okay? Here's what he said. A president should be a leader. A president should be strong. A president should be able to kind of walk through anything. He gets shot in the ear talking about Trump. He stands up, raises his fist, while they're trying to drag him off of the stage. He doesn't want to leave the stage. This is true. This is actually true. I mean, we have to be real here. A president should be a leader. I agree. A president should be strong. I agree. A president should be able to walk through anything. I agree. We need someone capable. We need someone to do the job as it should be done. And uphold freedoms. And uphold our rights. It's as simple as that. And Jack Osborne's 100% correct here. It says, Rocker's famous son says that he is voting for Trump after his defiant reaction to the shooting. Now the next story is going to be here, and it's coming from Fox News. Drea De Matteo. Here's what she had to say. She said, all these celebrities going crazy, destroying Trump's character, I think it's time for all of these people to ask themselves why they're so filled with rage. The Sopranos star Drea De Matteo rips Hollywood A-listers who are mocking Trump's shooting, why she believes that the comments go way deeper than jarring jokes. She's correct, by the way. These aren't just jokes. There's a lot of people that are making jokes about the Trump shooting, that are just jokes. But there's many people who aren't joking. They aren't joking. They're serious about it. They literally want him dead. And those people are actually kind of dangerous. I just have to say it. And so she's 100% right. It does go way deeper than just jokes. These are real people who want President Trump dead and are sad that the bullet missed his brain. Crazy, insane people. That's what we're dealing with here. It's insane. Now, the next story is actually a funny one. It's not really important. It's just a fun story to add in here. It's coming from Fox News. Here's what they had to say. Fox News Channel crushes CNN as well as MSNBC during historic news week to finish number one in all of cable. That means Fox News was the number one news in America this week. That's crazy because of the insane news that we had this week. I mean, we had so much news happen. We had the Trump shooting, we had the RNC, we had Joe Biden dropping out, we had Kamala Harris stepping up, we had so much stuff happening. So they became number one because Americans tuned into them to watch it. Really, really cool statistic I just thought I would share with you. And, you know, I think Fox News is a little bit more fair than some other news is, especially MSNBC. MSNBC is the worst. It's not even news, it's propaganda. CNN is much better than MSNBC, even though I really don't even like CNN either. But that's just the case. We're right now in America, we have news agencies that really don't give us facts. They just give us propagandist tags, and they give us propagandist speech, and they want you to believe their opinion. So here's the next news story, and it's coming from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who reminds the U.S. He reminded the U.S. lawmakers today. So he came to the U.S., he hopped off of the plane, and Joe Biden was not there to greet him, by the way. He canceled all meetings with Netanyahu. But Netanyahu arrived in the U.S. today, and he went before Congress, and he had a speech. Here's what it says. It says that he reminded U.S. lawmakers that Israel is not alone in their fight against Hamas, adding that the country will do whatever it must do to restore security and return our people safely to their homes. In quotes, this is what Benjamin Netanyahu said, "Our enemies are your enemies. Our fight is your fight. And our victory will be your victory." Let me know if you agree with that in the comment section down below. And while Benjamin Netanyahu was in there, of course in front of Congress, giving a speech, these people, these protesters, these pro-Hamas agitators, went outside of the building and they burned American flags. This is insane. It says pro-Hamas agitators burned American flags and hoisted Palestinian flags as they descended on Washington, D.C. in a chaotic scene. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu was in the nation's capital to address a joint session of Congress. And here's the pictures. You can see him burning the American flags here. If you're on podcast, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to go over to YouTube or even on Spotify. We upload the videos there. So you can just go onto Spotify and it should show you the video. But as you can see, they're burning the American flag, which is insane. And here's the next picture. You can see some more people. Someone spray painting Hamas. Large crowds. More burning of the flag. And then we see the cop and the police presence here, who is trying to keep what looks like reporters out from coming in and reporting on the situation. Or at least keep them from a distance, because this is obviously, it could turn to a dangerous situation. Now, this is insane, because burning the American flag is already insane. But then putting up your Palestinian flag, that's crazy. And look, these people, this is not the way to do it. Let me just say, if they're fighting for something, this is not the way to do it. Do not burn the American flag. You should be peaceful, and this is kind of not really peaceful. It is, but it's not at the same time. It's kind of like a passive-aggressive. You know, they're burning the flag, being like, we don't like America, pretty much. But at the same time, they're also fighting for a cause that they think is right. Which, hey, I respect, but, you know, you need to do this in a more peaceful way. This is ridiculous. This is disrespectful to America. Let me know what you think, though. Also, while Israel Prime Minister Netanyahu was speaking in front of Congress, here's what he had to say as well. It says that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu promised families of hostages held by Hamas that he will not rest until all of their loved ones are home, during an address to joint meeting of Congress. In quotes, this is what he said, "The pain these families have endured is beyond words. I promise them this. I will not rest until all of their loved ones are home, all of them." Alright? Once again, I agree with him here, but of course there is some interesting things going on in the war, and people have differing opinions, so I'm not sure if everyone is going to agree with him here. I agree. We need to get the families who are taken by Hamas as hostages, they need to come home. We need to get that done, but we also need to end the war. What is happening? Why are we having wars? Let's end this, okay? The world needs to come together in unity. It's not going to happen, but we need to try. We definitely do. The next story is coming from March for Our Lives, and March for Our Lives is an organization who now endorsed Kamala. They've never endorsed any political candidate ever, ever, ever. But now they're coming out and endorsing Kamala, even though she's not going to win. Look, I don't think she has any chance of winning. Neither does Joe Biden, which is why Joe Biden dropped out. And now Kamala is doing a little bit better, but she's not doing much better. She has no chance of winning. Look, Donald Trump's going to win if Kamala Harris is the nominee. But of course, we have to vote for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. because we want real change. But the March for Our Lives organization and group endorsed Kamala Harris, the first ever endorsement from them. It says, the endorsement from the youth-led organization dedicated to ending gun violence, that's what the organization stands for, is an indicator of the mounting youth support for Vice President. In an interview with ABC News, the executive director of March for Our Lives, which was the organization name, said that there's energy brewing from the young voters with Harris now being the presumptive Democratic nominee. That wasn't seen before with President Biden at the top of the ticket. Which is true, by the way. You know, President Biden was, he couldn't even form a sentence. He couldn't even think. So, obviously, she's going to be favored a lot more in the Democratic Party's eyes. Because she can actually think. She can actually form sentences. Sometimes they're not the best. Sometimes they're cringy. But at least she can form them. That's all I have to say. So I think she's better than Joe Biden. Just by a little margin, okay? Joe Biden was not very good of a president, in my opinion. But Kamala Harris, she was right there with him to support his agenda and support his campaign, and both of them kind of failed at their job. So that's all I have to say. Now look, it's unclear if the bullet hit his ear, Donald Trump of course, or if it was shrapnel that hit his ear. This is what ABC News is reporting. It says it's unclear if a bullet or shrapnel hit Donald Trump's ear. The FBI director tells the House Judiciary Committee, if we dive in deeper, he said there's some question about whether or not it's a bullet or shrapnel that hit his ear. Wray, who is of course once again the FBI director, said in a response to the question from the chairman Jim Jordan, FBI agents also determined that the gunman's father purchased the firearm used in the shooting in 2013 and sold it to his son in October 2023. That's crazy. That's new news that we're getting, new reports, that his father was the one who owned the gun and then sold it to the son, and then the son obviously tried to shoot Donald Trump. And he did shoot Donald Trump in the ear, but he missed by just a narrow margin, by a centimeter. Could have ended his life by a centimeter. Crazy situation. This next one here is coming from Elon Musk, and Elon Musk today was at the Capitol Hill. Okay, he was at the same place where Netanyahu was giving his speech. He was there. Elon Musk. It says that he visited Capitol Hill for Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's address. It says that he was spotted, Elon Musk, at the Capitol attending the speech of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at a joint meeting of Congress. Musk sat in the chamber behind Sarah Netanyahu and rescued hostage Noah Argamani, who was freed from Hamas captivity in a rescue mission along with 3 other Israelis conducted by the Israel Defense Force. And as you can see here, you can see Elon Musk on the slide here, the first one. Here's the second slide. It says Musk's visit comes amid his announcement that SpaceX's Starlink internet service is now available in a Gaza Strip hospital, following approval from the Israeli government 5 months ago. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool news. You can see I'm talking here with some people. And then here's the next slide. It says Musk sat in the chamber once again behind Sarah Netanyahu and rescued hostage Noah. And as you can see here, he's talking to more people. That's the main gist of the story. Let me know what you think about it. Obviously, it's cool to see Elon Musk out and about and actually going to Congress and, being a part of change. I think that's pretty cool. Most people will just tweet out something. They'll tweet out their opinion, and that's fine. I love that. We need to start talking. We need to go on social media and express our opinions, start talking with each other and respecting each other and valuing each opinion. But the people that are able to go out there and actually create change as well, and you can create change on social media, but the people that go out and actually participate in these things, it just proves that you're willing to get stuff done. That's all I'm going to say. So, props to Elon Musk here. And props to Starlink, his internet service, for actually being available in now a Gaza hospital strip, which is pretty interesting. Or a Gaza Strip hospital. Pretty cool. Now, the next story here is about the FBI director. We're going to talk about it. Once again, we just talked about it a little bit. Here's more information about it. It says FBI Director Wray takes turn in hot seat over Trump shooting. It says that FBI Director Christopher Wray will face questions from Congress on Wednesday over the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, but seems likely to escape the withering bipartisan criticism that preceded Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle's resignation. So yes, Kimberly Cheadle, we talked about this recently. She resigned. She was the head of the Secret Service, so the director. And she resigned because, of course, she was testifying in front of Congress, and she seemed to be guilty as far as her mannerisms and what she was saying, because she wouldn't answer any of the questions at all. It was crazy. They were easy questions. She couldn't answer a single one. She just said, oh, refer to this, refer to that. It's like a bot response. Kind of crazy. So to compare that situation to this is, it's relevant. Now, Representative Jim Jordan, he said, lies forced out Secret Service Director. So he's saying that she was forced out, the Secret Service Director. She was forced out because of lies. Let's hear what he has to say. It says that Jordan, who is a Republican in Ohio, told Newsmax on Tuesday that there were a litany of failures that forced Kimberly Cheadle to resign as Secret Service Director, but that one sin stood out from the rest. What happened after the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump? Very, very interesting. We now move over to Elon Musk once again, who says, giving to make America greater, not just to Trump. Elon Musk denied reports that he is donating $45 million a month to a pro-Donald Trump super PAC. People were speculating, and people were now, reporting news that Elon Musk was donating $45 million a month to Trump. And now Elon is coming out and denying that. He's saying, no, I never said that. That was a fake news story. And it says, saying that he is giving a much lower rate. Okay, so he's not giving $45 million, but he is going to give some money to the Trump administration every single month. It's just not going to be on the scale of $45 million. That's pretty much what he's saying. He wants to promote the principles that make America great in the first place. That's his agenda. Now, the next story is that Harris helps Trump fare better among young voters. It says former President Donald Trump performs much better among young voters in a potential presidential race against Vice President Kamala Harris than he did against President Joe Biden in the 2020 election. So basically what they're saying here is that Donald Trump has a real chance of winning here with Kamala Harris being the candidate. He had a chance to win against Joe Biden as well. But he has more of a chance with Kamala Harris, basically. So she's easier. She's easier to beat. And that's why a lot of Republicans and conservatives are now coming out and being like, we actually like her being the candidate because she's easy to beat. Now, guess who finally gave their opinion? We have Hillary Clinton who gave her opinion. Hillary Clinton said that Kamala Harris is talented. This is a quote by her. She said, Kamala Harris is talented, experienced, and ready to be president. And I know that she can defeat Donald Trump. Hillary Clinton wrote in an opinion piece that Kamala Harris can win the presidency by reaching out to voters, quote, who have been skeptical of Democrats and mobilize young voters who need convincing because of a strong record. Let me know if you agree with Hillary Clinton here. Now we have some brand new breaking news coming from Fox News, or actually, sorry, not Fox News, Newsmax this time. And this is actually going to dive deeper into the shooting. So the attempted Trump assassination and the shooter. So it says that the FBI director said Trump shooter searched for JFK assassination details before he actually committed the attempted assassination. So he was searching online, researching about the JFK assassination, how far away was the shooter, what happened that day, all that sort of stuff. It says the man who tried to kill former President Donald Trump conducted online research about how Lee Harvey Oswald assassinated former President John F. Kennedy, FBI Director Chris Wray told lawmakers. That's insane breaking news, and definitely an interesting piece to the story. As more news comes out, of course, I'll let you know every single day as we make the show. But this is an insane story. This is insane breaking news. Let me know what you think about it. Now, we also have this being reported by CBS News as well. They said Trump shooter searched how far away was Oswald from Kennedy a week before the rally. That's crazy. A week before this kid, this 20-year-old, tried to assassinate the president, he was searching up the quote, or the term, the search term, how far away was Oswald from Kennedy? So he was researching what distance does he need to be at to kill the president. During a hearing on the investigation into the assassination attempt against Donald Trump, FBI Director Christopher Wray revealed that the FBI conducted an analysis of the laptop tied to the shooter and found that 1 week before the Pennsylvania rally, he conducted a Google search for how far away was Oswald from Kennedy, a reference to Lee Harvey Oswald, who assassinated President John F. Kennedy in 1963. The shooter registered for Trump's rally the same day, Wray said. Very, very interesting stuff that we have coming out, man. Now, we have a new Truth Social post. Okay, so the Truth Social obviously being Trump's social media platform similar to Twitter. Here's what he had to say. He posted this onto Truth. He said, "A big win today in high Florida court against ABC fake news. And little George Slopadopoulos." Hey, yo, and little George Slopadopoulos. A powerful case. A powerful case. Before you know it, the fake news media will be forced by the courts to start telling the truth. This is a great day for our country, MAGA 2024. President Donald Trump crowed on Truth Social on Wednesday after a motion to dismiss his defamation lawsuit against ABC News and host George Stephanopoulos was rejected by a Florida judge. Lawmakers for the network and Stephanopoulos asked District Judge Cecilia Altanaga to throw the defamation suit out, but the judge allowed the case to move forward. Representative Nancy Mace, RSC, had urged Trump to sue ABC and Stephanopoulos after a controversial interview in which she claimed the host falsely said the former president was found guilty of rape in the Eugene Carroll civil case, which is obviously Eugene Carroll. Now, this is an interesting post that he posted to Truth Social. He's obviously talking about the courts against ABC News, the lawsuit. I just find it really funny that he called Stephanopoulos Shalopadopoulos. That's just insane, man. I love the terms. This is crazy. In devastating news, but also really weird news. Actually, it's kind of not devastating. It's kind of might actually be a life-saving thing. Let's read it. It says, surfer's leg washes up after shark attack. Doctors scramble to reattach it. So this surfer lost his leg from a shark, and now his leg has washed up. And now they're trying to reattach his leg. And in a desperate attempt to reattach it before it's too late. That's kind of crazy. What an insane situation. An Australian surfer's leg washed up on a beach after it was torn off during a horror shark attack, with doctors now scrambling to see if the severed limb can be reattached. Obviously, hopefully it can. That would be pretty cool. If they're actually able to reattach it, he can get his leg back. That's really amazing. That would be awesome. That's the best case scenario. I'm hoping for that. Okay, let's go on to the next story, which is going to be James Carville warns of, quote, realism facing Kamala Harris in quest to beat Trump. It's coming from the New York Post. Veteran Democratic strategist James Carville warned supporters of Vice President Kamala Harris's presidential run that beating Donald Trump isn't going to be easy. It's going to be very close. Now, let me know what you think about that, because I actually don't think that Kamala Harris can win. I've said it a million times. I think Donald Trump, if Kamala Harris is the nominee here, Donald Trump would win in a race between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. Even though, look, there's a few polls that are coming out now that are saying that Kamala is actually kind of ahead. But most of the polls, most consistently, is talking about how Trump is way ahead. Talking about how Trump is up by 1 point, all the way even up to 7 points. And even more. So, Trump is obviously going to win if she's the nominee. That's all I have to say. But let me know what you think. The next story we have is about Trump. Trump posted a video. Well, not Trump. Trump was in the video. But Bryson posted the video. So, Bryson DeChambeau. Man, dude, all these people with such hard names. How do you say this? Bryson DeChambeau. Let's just call him Bryson, man. Let's call him Bryce. It's on your screen if you want to read it. Bryson posted a video with Donald Trump in his video, and it's exploding. People are loving it, okay? People are viewing it. It's gone viral. They were riding around in a golf cart together. Looks like a lot of fun. says that Brian's YouTube video with Donald Trump has been a huge hit 21 hours after the video of the two playing golf together was posted. It had already surpassed 4 million views, and the interest led to Brian eclipsing 1 million subscribers on his channel. So he didn't have 1 million subscribers, and now he does have 1 million subscribers, all by posting this video playing golf with Donald Trump. That's pretty insane. Now, the next story is about climate change. Hold on. We have CBS News says that climate voters could sway the presidential election. Do you agree with that? Research shows that climate voters swayed the 2020 election, and this year it could happen again. Quote, climate voters have become the ultimate wild card, the founder of Environmental Voter told CBS News. Quote, and if the climate movement votes, they could change everything. That's interesting. Let's move to the second slide here and see what they have to say. It says, U.S. voters' climate change opinions swing elections. A 2024 analysis by the University of Colorado Boulder found that personal views on climate change, quote, gave Democrats enough of an advantage to change the outcome of the 2020 presidential election into their favor. And here we have like a little poll here coming from CBS News and YouGov. It says a CBS News and YouGov poll found that 70% of Americans favor the U.S. taking steps to try and reduce climate change. You can see the poll here, 70% favor, 30% oppose. 52% said that it should be addressed right now, that we should address the situation right now. Very interesting. UC Boulder researchers found adults in the U.S. trust Democrats more than Republicans on addressing climate change. I mean, fair. Actually fair. Let's be real. On the topic of climate change, the Democrats definitely do more than the Republicans do, for sure. That's a no-brainer. Even among Republicans, 25% of people who considered climate change very important voted for Biden. It says, voters who considered climate change to be an important issue made up roughly 2/3 of the electorate in 2020, and these voters strongly preferred the Democrats, the study says. And it says, when researchers simulated the 2020 election without the effect of climate change opinion, and everything else equal, Republicans gained 3.4% or more in the popular vote margin. And now it says that the Environmental Voter Project identified $4.8 million, not dollars, but 4.8 million registered voters in 19 states who prioritize climate and the environment, but haven't voted since before 2020. And many live in key battleground states. You can see Pennsylvania there with 250,000, Arizona with 230,000, Georgia with 490,000. Biden won Georgia in 2020 by fewer than 12,000 votes. And here's the final slide. It says that climate voters have become the ultimate wild card, and if the climate movement votes, they could change everything. That's coming from Nathaniel Sinnett. Now, the next story we have today is going to be by No Jumper. Now, look, take it with a grain of salt. It's No Jumper. It's not an official news. I consider it an official news to the hip-hop scene, because they cover hip-hop news most of the time, but sometimes they cover politics. So, in the world of hip-hop, they are credible. In the world of politics, it's iffy. But on this story, they are credible, because other people have indeed reported this story. It says, Trump campaign files complaint with Federal Election Commission, which is the FEC, to stop Biden from transferring campaign funds to Harris. It says, Donald Trump's campaign has filed a complaint with the Federal Election Commission alleging that the transfer of funds from the Biden re-election campaign to the Harris presidential campaign violates campaign finance rules. However, the funds in question, which amount to $91.5 million, had already been authorized for both President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. So I guess that answers the question on why she gets to keep it. I don't think she should be able to keep it, but it is what it is. If they signed an agreement beforehand, then I guess it makes sense. I guess. Now, Fox News reported that President Trump addresses supporters in Charlotte, North Carolina during his first rally since President Biden was pushed out of the 2024 race. He said, Kamala, you're fired. That's what Donald Trump said at this convention. And as you can see right here, you can see the crowd. A big, big crowd, as normal. He always gets these big crowds, man. Every single time. It's kind of crazy. And now here's the next one. You can see him right here with the billboard behind him. North Carolina is Trump country. That's crazy. You can see more of the crowd here. It looks like they also had like Donald Trump pins. That's pretty funny. We got Donald Trump here clapping. More people cheering, crying. We got the guy. We got this guy. Looks like Paint the Trump. We got more crowd. And that's the final slide. So that's the convention that he just had today in North Carolina. Pretty cool. Now, the next story is about President Biden, because today he officially addressed the nation. Finally. It took him so long to address the nation. He was gone for 6 days. No one saw him, no one heard from him, no one seen him for 6 days. And even yesterday, people were saying that it was a body double that we saw. Because we saw a video of, finally, after 6 days, of him walking up the steps of an airplane. And coming off the steps of an airplane. And people were saying it was a body double. I said it. I didn't say it officially, but I said personally I think it is. Because when you saw him walking up the stairs, in that clip, he was walking up so perfectly. Literally, no stumbles, no fumbles. The man didn't stop for a second. He wasn't moving slow. He just walked up at a normal pace, and he got to the top without any issue. I was like, dude, is he a robot now? Where's the real Joe Biden? That can't be Joe Biden. So I thought it was a body double, and maybe it was. That could have been a body double. At the same time, Joe Biden still could have actually gave a speech today. Both of those things can be true. Celebrities have body doubles all the time in different cities, portraying as them, because they are out doing other stuff. It's just as simple as that. But Joe Biden gave his first press conference, his first speech since dropping out of the race. Here's what he had to say. Nothing can come in the way of saving our democracy, and that includes personal ambition. Even though President Joe Biden even though he won't be on the ballot in November, voters still will be weighing his legacy. As Vice President Kamala Harris moves to take his place as the Democratic standard bearer, Biden's accomplishments remain very much at risk should Republican Donald Trump prevail. How Biden's single term and his decision to step aside are remembered will be intertwined with Harris' electoral results in November, particularly as the vice president runs tightly on the achievements of the Biden administration. Very, very interesting. Let me know what you think about that. Here's another thing he said. This is another quote coming from the press conference. Joe Biden said, "I have decided the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation. It's the best way to unite our nation." While addressing the nation from the Oval Office after ending his re-election bid, President Biden said, "Nothing can come in the way of saving our democracy. That includes personal ambition." And once again, this was during his press conference today. And the final story we have today is coming from Jill Biden. Jill Biden said, once again, she's the first lady. This is important. She said, "Thank you for the trust that you put in Joe. Now it's time to put that trust in Kamala." First Lady Jill Biden calls on Americans to throw their support behind Vice President Kamala Harris after the president's address to the nation. So we get to see what she has to say now, and now she endorsed Kamala. So now we have Joe Biden who endorsed Kamala. Obama still hasn't endorsed Kamala. So we have Joe Biden, we have Jill Biden who's endorsed Kamala now. We had George Clooney. Who else did we have? There was another leader. I think it was Gavin Newsom. And then there's someone else, I just can't think of the name right now, but we have a lot of people now endorsing Kamala Harris instead of Donald Trump, as well as instead of Joe Biden, since he's now out of the race. So, interesting stuff that we have going on right now. But currently, those are all of the stories that we have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Thank you so much for sticking until the end. Hopefully, you got some insights from this video, or at least enjoyed it in some sort of way. Make sure you guys drop likes, subscribe, comment, share, all that sort of stuff. It helps us grow in the algorithm. You can, of course, listen on Spotify now, as well as X, YouTube, and TikTok. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you guys on the next episode. Have a great day. Peace.